Okay, welcome back, everybody. So today is the first day of JavaScript lesson or training, you may call it. Let's see what we have on this slide. As you can see, I put some outlines over here, some outlines or topics we may cover today. We did the introduction, so now we know each other, so that's great. And the second is why JavaScript, why you need to learn JavaScript, what's the importance of learning JavaScript. I think it's good to answer this question. Uh, is there anybody who can help me maybe to answer this question?
Well, JavaScript helps making like web pages more interactive and responsive.
Mm-hmm.
You can create. It's a programming language compared to HTML and CSS. So it's you can make within the web page applications as well.
That's true. So using, yeah, as she said, using JavaScript, you can create actually contents, dynamic pages. You can develop anything you want. You can develop game, you can develop application, you can do almost anything you can. Most importantly, you can make websites dynamic and interactive. Sometimes when we say, what does that mean dynamic? What does that mean interactive? Actually, you can interact with the website. When you click something, you can see different thing, or you can see different output. So that's actually one interaction. It could be using a button, or it could be anything which can be clicked or hover, and that's actually interaction. Or it will be able to take data from the user. So you handle that data using JavaScript. Of course, there should be some backend technology which can store the data. Whenever we say dynamic, actually, uh, dynamic page, you see something, but when you click, another content will be displayed. So that means dynamically a content is created or changing. So then what's JavaScript? I think I can just answer this for you to make it a bit quicker. JavaScript is just a programming language that we can use to develop websites. Yeah, and as we said, it makes the website more interactive and dynamic. And then we will talk and we will see how we do the setup. We just need only a browser and VS Code. We don't need much. And then we start writing JavaScript code. Maybe today we talk about variables, comments, data types, operators, and maybe also conditionals if we have time. Okay, what's the requirement for this course? Do you have this? If you don't have, don't worry. But if you have HTML and CSS knowledge, basic, very basic, it would be good. Do you have the motivation? Ask yourself. Yeah, it's so silly right here. Okay, anyway. It needs motivation means the motivation to spend more time to learn by yourself. Yeah, after the course, after the lesson. A browser, it is easy to download. You may have already Chrome. I prefer Chrome. And at least for this course, let's just use Chrome. It makes our life so easy. And of course, we can use Firefox, but I am really in favor of Chrome browser. Code editor for this course also, I prefer VS Code. And most of you have this, I believe. And the tools, of course, you should have the computer. Yes, if you didn't have the computer by now, it would be impossible for you to have the Zoom and to attend this lesson. So you have internet connection and the browser, and we don't do any design here. Just I brought this slide from the web development, so we don't have to worry about. But at some point, it's good to know this Figma skill because it allows you to develop some uh, prototype or design before you start developing your application. Code editor, we will install GitHub. If you have a GitHub, a Git knowledge, it would be nice. If you don't have, it's okay. But I would recommend you to have, okay? Yeah, from the very beginning, it's very good to have. Yeah, the setup is going to be, we need a VS Code and Chrome. So easy. We install VS Code and Chrome, and that's what we need actually. Yeah, VS Code to write your code. So when you write your code, it looks like this, and actually the Chrome browser render this HTML and display something like this. Yeah. So VS Code is actually just an application that allows you to write code, and the browser render this and display a human readable, beautiful page. And then this is JavaScript code, a snippet of JavaScript code. As you can see, it is so easy to read. So console.log means just print. Hey, print hello world, and it's print for you. And even this console.log actually takes different argument. For instance, we break this hello world and exclamation mark separately, and you get the same output. COVID 2090. Yes, I just put this COVID. Yes, you know what it means, COVID-19, and it print the COVID and the number. Console.log, and just it's also possible to print numbers. This is a comment. Comment means in programming something which is not going to be executed, but it allows us to write actually uh, some information, remark, or to make the code readable, more easy to read, or even easy to use for some time later. Because once if you write a code, it will be an alien for you after a month or two. As you can see, this is basic arithmetic operation like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and this is division, modulus, that means the remainder. So when you divide 3 by 2, the remainder will be 1, right? And 3 the power of 2. Whenever you have 2 star, that means power. 3 the power of 2, that's 8. So notice the difference between this and this. Okay, this is how we declare variables. As you can see, for instance, you say first name. As you can see, the first name was written like an upper as a camel case. Camel case means there are two words, first name, and the second word starts with an uppercase. We call this camel case. First name is and last name. Actually, what does that variable means? Variables are actually containers. So this first name is actually a container that allows to store this name. Okay, last name is also another container that allows to store this. So whenever I want to print or get the value that was stored here, I can get it. So that is a variable. So variable could be a string, a name, or it could be a number, or it could be a boolean. So we will talk about that data type. You don't have to understand what I'm talking here, guys. I'm just giving you, and then we can even write JavaScript code on the uh, prompt, the command prompt or the CMD. Now this is the code editor, so that was written. So this is how it looks like the VS Code. Oh yeah, now it is time for break, and after the break, I will give you 15 minutes to talk about this, to discuss about this. And then after that, we will start the coding. Yeah, that's let's code. Of course, after the discussion, we should do that practically. But before that, I want you to answer this question by yourself, and we will answer also this together. That's how it goes. I think now let's have a short time break.